Yeah, video is live.
Okay, go ahead and do this.
Okay,
Go ahead and
I
start talking. Go ahead and start running some audio now through there. And get a couple of
that was it. No, that was it, brother.
what's that?
Those buttons were pushed down. That was it. When I pushed those buttons up, they said they can hear it. Can you hear us coming through, or or you're not on it?
Okay, we're back, guys. I think we figured it out.
Checking our technical difficulties. All right, I think we got it. I mean, if you want to pop in, pop in. If you're out and about or go home, I mean, whatever you want to do, buddy.
We're still here in the
All right.
JV matches. Louisville kids up 6-1 with about 10 seconds left in the first period.
Jason, I think we got it.
We are live.
I would say third time's a charm. I'm not sure, though. I think it
we
was
have
more than
thought
3.
this. We have thought this a few times. All that information, valuable information about wrestling.
I know.
Got to start over.
Is this the Tuslaw versus Louisville and the Three Stooges?
Yeah, absolutely. Larry Curley and Mo up here on the board, but
I don't see any other broadcast crews here.
nope, absolutely not. I'll tell you what, we are going to have to get that beautiful Stark Media tabletop. I think that put that on there, and going to definitely show folks great things that TJ Downing, his partner, JP Simons, put together Stark Media. Just a great couple of guys, and giving our wrestlers and us this opportunity.
Yeah, I'm really honored to be here with you guys and Stark Media, and just to help grow the wrestling community in the world. And speaking of that, on the mat right now, we have a female wrestler for Tuslaw. And that's one thing that Ohio has done. They sanctioned girls wrestling, and hopefully we can cover some of those programs that have the teams that are just girls only, and we'll see what that looks like in the future.
Girls wrestling's booming, not only in Ohio but throughout the country. This year, we're at 1,250 registered girls to compete in the state tournament this year. So they're going to have 2 super regionals, and probably at the rate of growth, they're going to need to move away from two super regionals and start getting into more regionals. It's very similar to boys. You'll be approaching 2,000 wrestlers in the next season or the next couple seasons.
And I believe that the ladies will actually be at the Schottenstein this March with the men, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, mat 4. So they're going to add a 4th mat and run the same weight classes as they do with the boys as close as possible. And they'll do them all simultaneously, just like they have in years past with 3 mats.
That's outstanding. Outstanding. Well, again, a very special night tonight. And again, we appreciate your patience with us as, again, the inaugural Stark Media Wrestling Division kickoff match tonight. We're out here at Tuslaw High School. Jason Adkins, Brad Scarbrough bringing you all the action. Louisville Leopards as they prepare the varsity match just around the corner. And again, guys, having some of that difficulty, just wanted to share again and how special tonight is, right? I mean, these 2 new head coaches, changing of the guard, if you will. Micah Coleman taking over for Rocky Laughlin here at Louisville, and Mike Pertine taking over for Chase Horvath at Tuslaw.
Yeah, how long was Chase here? 15 plus years, I would think. And Rocky, obviously, the job that he's done when he moved over from Jackson, Massillon Jackson, winning a state title, knocking off legendary Parrish Graham in 2019, I believe. So he's had a pretty amazing career over in Louisville.
Absolutely. And it was kind of nice during our coaches show at the beginning. Again, not sure how much of that you were able to hear, but very sadly, I don't know if you guys had known, but Coach Pertine lost his father about 4 months ago. Coach Coleman speaking right up and saying that tonight's match is dedicated to his memory. So that was pretty exciting.
Yeah, that was I saw the emotions when I got to the wrestling room, and I got to just talk to Coach Mike, and he's ready for tonight. just the emotions all around with wrestling and being his first head coaching match tonight. It's exciting. We got another JV match here. I believe this might be the last one.
132 pounds, Louisville, Luke Seaman, and Tuslaw.
Looks like a 132-pound match here. Now, Jason, earlier you had shared us, and again, trying to catch up with some of our technical difficulties we had, though, underway. Who are our officials this evening?
So right now on the mat, we have Jared Martin, who's officiating this mat, and then resting his assistant, who looks like they're switching every other match, but that's Lee Jacobs. That's not in right now, but he's helping out tonight.
So there we have clasping the headgear. So a lot of people are not familiar with the mechanics of officiating. So that signal, a lot of people would confuse with locking hands. But when you clasp the clothing, it's the same mechanics for an official as locking hands. So that's technical violation, 1 point, and they reset. So both our officials are state officials. Both have officiated at the state tournament several times.
Now, I got to ask, gentlemen, is that your goal as officials? I know you've been at it, both of you now, for a few years. Brad a little bit longer at the official game than Jason, but yet Jason making his way through. Is that what you guys strive for as you put those stripes on?
I would say yes. For me personally, it is a goal, but I also want to make sure that I'm practiced and really sharp enough to get to that level. I don't think it's something that you just are entitled to get to. I think all the officials, all 30 officials that do the state tournament, that is a goal of theirs, but they work very, very hard to get down there. And I'm no different. When I get to the state tournament as a goal of mine someday, I hope that I'm the best official out of the 30 there.
And I second that. I want to make sure that I study the rules, study what they call the Green Book. That's for Ohio, and just continue to go to the meetings. I have some great mentors in my circle right now. But yeah, ultimately, I would love to go down there. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go as a wrestler. And I just, as an official, I think that would be an incredible achievement to go down there and officiate these young men and women in the sport of wrestling.
I know both of you guys have been around the sport for a long time. You're, quality men. I know I've coached with both of you. Just great guys, know the sport, and haven't got a chance to, even though Monday night we did see Brad out on the mat with the whistle, did a great job down there. And I definitely know that, someday soon we're going to see both of you guys down at the shot, with those red and green wristbands on, and it'll be awful exciting. Again, it was very special, our Stark Media team having two quality, not only men as you are, but, your background as coaches as well as officials to be up here and to share. Again, one of our big goals of this division, is to help educate and promote the sport, teach as we go along. And I'm just excited to work with you guys throughout the year and learn a little bit more about what you do and those mechanics as Brad talked about earlier.
Yeah. Well, you're no stranger to officiating, Jim. I know you have some experience. Your experience in the sport is far-reaching. The boys that you had put through the program, including 4 of your own boys, which I know only having one is not an easy thing. Being a wrestling coach, dad, parent is challenging. And 4 times over, you did a phenomenal job coaching hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of kids throughout the years, including 4 of your own boys who are spectacular people, and they were very, very good wrestlers. Man, were they exciting to watch.
Thank you very much, Brad. That means a lot. It really does. Like I say, you and I had a great run together down there.
I learned a lot from you.
Youth now, and vice versa. I mean, yourself, I learned a lot about, those of you as you get to know Brad more throughout the season, find out he does a lot in the world of grappling. Myself, I truly, I think, wow, grappling, that's wrestling. It's a little bit different. And I learned a lot of that technique. Brad also helped quite a few of us, older gents there. We had a real nice morning workout routine going that he helped us out. Remember that?
Right.
We had a lot of fun with that back in the day. And so no, we've had a great journey, and I'll tell you what, it's amazing to me how the Lord, brings people back together, right? I mean, we kind of went our own ways there for a while. Yourself too, a dad coach, as you said, Caden, your son, again, awesome young man, wrestler, and I guess I'm sure I heard a very proficient golfer, from what I understand.
Yeah. Wrestlers are the best athletes in the world, and you're going to get to see a lot of them compete here in a few minutes. These guys work so hard. Their mindsets are not like any other athletes. A lot of them are just coming from football. They're leaving football, which they would consider to be an easier or an off-season sport for a lot of these kids. My son is a golfer. He's in college golfing on scholarship.
Nice.
And he had a pretty good year. He made All-American, which I'm proud of him for that.
Congratulations.
But these kids go on to do great things. Yeah, and as in your son, he's going to be quite the dentist. Jason's son is going to have an amazing season on the diamond this year. Is senior year going to be a senior?
Junior. He's a junior.
He's going to be a junior.
Well, and if I may, real quick, Brad, just bringing in, as you said about Jason's son Owen, he too wears the stripes as you gentlemen do. Is that not right?
No, he's a good official, and you know what? We need that. Becoming an official, not only is it a great job for what we call Class 3 officials, kids in high school. They can get to be an official very easy. There's a great mentoring program. If there's anybody out there listening or hears this, and you have any inkling on becoming an official, it's very easy to do. You can comment on the Stark Media team page, and we can direct you. So very easy to do, and we need it. There's only 450 registered officials in the state of Ohio for wrestling.
Wow. 450.
That's near pandemic levels for officials in the state of Ohio.
Well, and we hear that with all of our sports, right, Jason? I mean, it's not, I know you do a lot of other, I think you coach or you referee some football and so forth. So referees all throughout our, right? I mean, we have a calling. We need some men and women to step up and step in.
Yeah.
Well, my son Owen, actually, there at Jackson, there's a class that they have at sports and officiating. It's on the curriculum at the Jackson High School, where they're teaching sports and officiating kids at all levels in all sports. And their teacher, Coach Dan Rodriguez, he had mentioned that in the past 10 years, 50,000 officials have quit or retired throughout all the sports in the nation.
So why do you think that is, Jason? What do you think is causing that?
If I had to say one thing, and you want one answer or a few answers? I would
I'll
have
leave that up to you.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to go at this, I'm going to say parents. Parents are over involved in their youth sports. Youth sports are great. I mean, it's been great, but it's not like it was when we were, in school. It's gotten out of hand. It's kind of overwhelming at times for some of these kids and parents. It's tough enough to be a parent, and so I just believe they want to see the success right now in their kid, that they push, and so when they see these officials make mistakes, they just get after them. So I would have to say the parents are one of the main reasons.
Yeah, and as we get ready to start here, you're going to see some both sides of these bleachers be very fired up. These are great wrestling communities. They're very vested in their wrestling programs. We've been coming along around Tuslaw for years and years and years, and it is definitely one of the great wrestling communities in Ohio for sure. In Louisville, obviously, with the success they've had, so you're going to see a lot of emotion pouring onto these mats as these kids put their all into these matches. This is going to be a great duel we have coming up here, and these two officials, they're like fighter pilots. They'll handle that. They're not going to pay attention to people yelling and screaming or people being hard on them per se. They'll roll right through it, and it's going to be a fantastic duel. I'm excited. I'm getting excited.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, that's exciting. Just throughout all of Stark County, right? When you think Stark County wrestling, obviously the first name probably that pops into everybody's head is Maslin Perry. And of course, we will be out at Maslin. We'll be with the Panthers throughout the season. They've got a great returning team. But Brad, you're spot on, brother. I mean, you're talking a D2, D3 matchup here. Both teams, bringing back some state qualifiers. I mean, we're in for a real treat tonight. Now, before we get going too deep, we want to say thank you to some of our sponsors out there, right? I mean, without our sponsorship and as the Stark Media wrestling division continues to grow, we will be out looking for sponsors. If you're in the Stark County area and you have an interest to sponsor or advertise with us. But we do have a few here this evening. As always, we want to thank Hilscher Clark Electric. Hilscher Clark, big sponsors of Stark Media in general. We really want to thank them. Lindsay's Pizza, also a huge sponsor of Stark Media. But one tonight, a special one that we want to give a shout out to, obviously focusing on our student athletes. But again, I think the key there, guys, is student athletes, right? Student first. And some of our students over at Lake High School in their Junior Achievement Program, again, recognizing all of our students here at Stark County. The Junior Achievement Program over there is a nonprofit that inspires and prepares young people for success. They have a company over there called Safe Chain, run by the senior business students, and it is their effort to encourage safe driving habits for them and their peers, and even anyone that gets behind the wheel. Right now, they're making customizable keychains with the message, text me when you get home. Very important, right? Text me when you get home. Embroidered on the back of these keychains to serve as a visual reminder to drive safe while having a cute, simplistic keychain right there in your car and hooked onto those keys. So if you're interested and would like to purchase some of these great stocking stuffers, right? Great Christmas gifts. Check them out on their Instagram and Facebook page at Safe Chain. That's the @ symbol, safechain.ja, and their website at safechain.com for more information. So again, great job to those students and their teachers bringing out a great message, trying to keep all of the young drivers out there safe and secure. Well, guys, as you look out on the mat, what do you see? I mean, I know we're in warm-ups. I see Louisville out on the mat. The Tuslaw Mustangs might be back in the locker room. Coach giving them a little final pep talk. What's your thoughts for tonight?
It's going to be a good matchup. We do have there's some wrestlers to watch for tonight. I know Tuslaw has a few of these wrestlers that are ranked, that are in their lineup. We have some returning state qualifiers. Maxwell Cooper, he's a senior. Jacob Lyons, junior, he's a state qualifier returning. Caden Lawson, who's a freshman. They have him ranked in the top 20, along with Devin Vance. He's ranked for the Tuslaw Mustangs tonight. They do that pre-ranking, kind of do their homework and, look at all the different weight classes and see who's going to be prepared to make it down there to the shot.
Right. Back in the day when we were wrestling, right, Brad, it was a Brakeman report, right?
Brian Brakeman.
We all wanted to watch the Brakeman report. So these preseason rankings, what report are you guys monitoring, or what should our fans be looking for as they watch that?
Yeah, so a good question, right? Where are the rankings? Where's everything located? Bombs page is a good place to go for tournament results, previous results. Sorry for that, Jason. That I gotta. There. So.
It's all right.
Yeah, I got caught up there.
No,
My buddy just texted me. He said, "Quit saying So I just said it twice in a row. That was for him. So
I got you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Shout
had
out.
to get that out of the way. Where else would we go to find stats off the top of your head? I know previous results. Bombs page is a great location.
Intermat's going to give you your more your
Rankings.
national rankings. Which, with that being said, next weekend, Ironman at Walsh Jesuit, there will be some of these Stark County wrestlers there, I believe, and that's one of the toughest tournaments in the nation, and that actually determines a lot of the rankings.
Historic
for the nation.
statistics is Jake's Wrestling. If you ever been to jakeswrestlingpage.com, amazing. The statistics that he's logged for years and years and years and years is amazing. Boro Fan is kind of the go-to for modern rankings, up to date per se rankings. I don't know how accurate they are. A lot of people debate them. I find them to be pretty accurate for the most part. Some people say don't ever look at them. If your kid's wrestling on your team, or you have a son that's wrestling or daughter that's wrestling, Some people say don't look at rankings. How do you guys feel about looking at rankings?
No, I'll tell you what. I was the coach when I head coached. My years at Norton. I'll tell you what. The biggest thing I would tell my kids is get your nose out of the paper. Get your nose. Don't be looking at the bracket sheets.
Mm-hmm.
It's the next match ahead. It doesn't matter. You both put your singlets on the same way. I think back over many of the kids I coach, especially at the high school. We know that the mental part of this game is so huge, right? I mean, in all sports, but
Right.
there's a huge mental side here. And I think sometimes when you get in those rankings, that can be pro-con, right? Guys that think they should be aren't. They're getting ready to wrestle. Oh, my gosh, this guy's ranked. And all of a sudden, where they could have had a match, to go their way just because of that mental thought. So I really discourage my guys to stay out of the paper, stay off the bracket sheets. You know what? Worry about you. Worry about your work, your time on the mat, and whatever happens when that whistle blows, you give it all and best man hand raised for that night.
That's a very good outlook. Great advice for everybody out there. They don't mean anything until the end of the season. Your results will be your ranking. How you do and your effort will be your ranking.
Absolutely. And what do we used to tell our kids, Brad, right? When it came to section time, your record just became 0-0.
Yeah.
It don't matter doodly squat what happened. Every dual match, you were this tournament champ, that tournament champ. It's a whole new season, right? And the other thing that we always used to tell our kids, right, is if you get beat, you pick your head up. There's no tears until that very last match of your senior year. Then we'll sit down and have a good cry together because that journey, that part of your life journey, if you don't go on to college, could be over. But until then, you never stop, you never quit fighting, you never quit training, and you become the very best you can be. And talking about that too, you were talking about places to find information. You have a great following, right? On Facebook, I believe you have a page that you have put together, correct?
Yeah. Myself and Dave Ryder.
Okay.
Some of you may know Dave Ryder. Dave Ryder is instrumental in that page, and it's Ohio Wrestling News and Events. Got an audience of about 18,000 wrestling fans throughout Ohio, so pretty exciting. We started that page probably 10 years ago with the idea of just to promote wrestling and to do what we could to spread the word. My friend Jason LaRue was instrumental in the growth and the content. He was a really good content editor in that page, putting out good information. Chris Snyder, he would chime in. So we had a great group from around the state that would bring content, but it was all about sharing wrestling. This is the next level. That's what I love about Stark Media Team. This is the next level to the awareness of wrestling in this sport. It's the best sport on the planet, and we're in a hotbed. I think you guys would both agree with Perry. Perry Wrestling's going to be phenomenal this year. I don't know if you guys knew that Dante Rini, he's I think a 3-time state qualifier. I do remember him getting pinned in the final, but he's a 3-time state finalist, maybe 4. He might have made it to state 4 times. He left Louisville and is now coaching at Perry. So the Perry coaching staff with Dave Riggs, they're going to be something to deal with this year. They're going to be a special team. And then you have Tuslaw proper. They are full lineup. Coach Wusky over there.
The Tigers.
Oh, he's got a great squad over there. Maslin Jackson, full lineup all the way through. Hard kids. Stark County's got it going on when it comes to wrestling. Obviously, Louisville's always going to be in the mix.
Now you talk about that, Brad, and I'll tell you what, if you guys can see, ladies and gentlemen, walking out right now down, they introduced them a little bit earlier. There's the Tuslaw Youth Program, and I'll tell you that the beauty of what TJ and JP have put together, and they've kind of given us pretty much a free reign to take this wherever we want. And I can tell you that we're going to be broadcasting live at some of the youth events all the way up to the college events, right? Later in January, February, we've got some Mount Union matches scheduled. But going back, Brad, just a moment, you had mentioned about, just the power of Perry Wrestling and what, they are going to be wrestling Graham, right? You wrestlers know about St. Paris Graham and the what that program's all about. They're actually coming up to Perry. So I'm pretty sure you're going to see Stark Media there that night.
I can't wait for that.
That'll be a barn burner.
Special.
That's going to be a full house. There'll be a
Perry will show up in force.
standing room only there. Do we know the date on that yet, Jim?
Not soon enough.
We do. We will find that.
Interesting enough, I read an article in the Beacon Journal that was teams to look out for. Might have been the Plain Dealer. Teams to look out for. The top 20 teams in Ohio. Teams like Brecksville and the usual suspects, obviously. Elyria. Massillon Perry wasn't mentioned in it.
Really?
So, yeah. The journalist must be a little bit asleep at the wheel, not mentioning Massillon Perry.
Wow. So. I would agree with that.
Lake should have a serviceable team this year too. Lake is always right in the mix.
Perennial powerhouse every
Yeah.
year. You know, in the Federal League. The Federal League just an outstanding league down there. But yeah, every year you got Perry right there, obviously. But Lake is always right there, number 2, number 3, vying for a league title. But I'll tell you what, it's awful tough to dethrone those Panthers.
Yeah, well, Wadsworth's right around the corner, right down the street. You got Wadsworth, another legendary program. They're up there, and they're going to mix it up this year too. They're going to be pretty special. So we got a great wrestling season ahead of us.
And this is the beginning, right? I mean, episode 1, our first broadcast. And I found it, Jason. It took me a moment, but January 20th. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Mark that on your calendar.
Put that on your calendar right now. Get your tickets when they become available. For the sport of wrestling, to bring Graham up here like that and against those Panthers over at Perry, that's going to be a special night. And I can tell you, Stark Media, we're going to be there ready to go.
Is that a try, Jim, or is it just a duel?
The schedule says a duel, but I know what you're alluding to a while back. If you remember, right, our kids there, Massillon Jackson, when they went over to Perry, and it was us. Perry or Jackson, it was Perry, and then
Blair Academy.
Oh,
yeah,
thank
Blair.
you, Jim.
Yeah,
Blair
right.
Academy.
And Blair Academy, they're not just the best in Ohio. They're not from Ohio. They're out of New Jersey, but they're one of the top teams in the nation. I actually attended that match.
Yeah, I was there. It was amazing.
That was a great match.
NCAA champions.
There were.
Yeah.
Multiple. The stands are packed tonight. Looks like we've got a full house, which is exciting to see. That just goes to show what both of these teams have, because to see the stands in a wrestling dual meet this full is exciting.
Yeah, Tuslaw has always turned out for their wrestling team. Always. They travel really well. I was fortunate enough to take part in their chicken noodle soup. They make chicken noodle soup for the team.
Oh, yeah.
And it's amazing. So they not only turn out, but they're a great community. They come together. So
Well, I'm going to tell you another noodle soup program there, guys, and they'll be with us. In fact, they are going to be the first team we're going to feature in our segment called In the Room, all right? And that's the Northwest Indians. So, back when I was coaching our youth way back, and my boys were in kindergarten and first grade and such, we'd go over to Northwest. That's where actually our league was. We were over there at that time. And, the noodles were the hit. So I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
They were, yes.
So,
Coach Dave Talarchek, right?
Yep.
Now Northwest.
Coach Talarchek was assistant coach, right, over at the Massillon Jackson program. He had 2 sons graduate. In fact, his second son, Tanner, just graduated. I believe that young man's working his way into trying to get into the Navy, from what I understand. And I'll tell you what, Brad, you bring up another great point there. Another one of our segments that you're going to hear throughout the season is called Where Are They Now? Jason, what's that going to be about?
We are going to feature different wrestlers, coaches throughout this wrestling season that have competed in Stark County in some way. I believe we have Victor Marcelli. He's on the list, which is a great young man he is, who state champion for Massillon Jackson. And we'll just set up an interview and sit down with these young men and see where they're at, or some of these older men that wrestled years ago. Brian Dahl, for instance, I believe we talked the other day, and I think he'd be a great one to sit down with, a North Canton Viking.
Well, I think JoJo Chase, the assistant coach here at Tuslaw, we've talked to him. So, I think the big part of that whole segment, guys, is really to let them not only share, a little bit of what, how they did in wrestling, but what it did for them as they became young men, and, contributing and giving back. So, well, hey, I'll tell you what, getting excited here. The home team is coming out to the mat. Mustangs looking sharp in their red, white, and blue warm-ups. See Coach Bertine down there giving them
shout out to local uniform company, Reshot. Mustangs looking good in their Reshot gear.
Very nice. Very nice. I'll tell you what, Reshot, again, one of our sponsors for our Stark Wrestling program. Some others that, we want to make sure we give a little shout out and love to C.H. Balos and Associates. Again, a member of the Stark Media family. McNeil and Sons Tree Service helping us out this year. Finally here, Ohio.com. And unfortunately, guys, I think I'm going to have to go look those guys up here soon. Ringing in the ear just will not stop. I just don't know what it is. So, again, as we had mentioned earlier, Hilscher Clark Electric. They do a great job for us. Leather Nations Motorcycle Club. So I'll tell you what, if we ever get in trouble in a broadcast, I think we need to reach out to Tim Arnold. Tim Arnold's right part of that, and we might need an escort.
Get some leather necks.
Right.
Hoorah.
Well, absolutely. I like that idea. And I'll tell you what, two amazing sponsors that we have to mention: Sam Center in Massillon and Save 22 Veterans, which again, just a program. Again, we cannot say, and of course, very blessed, Brad and I here with a veteran ourselves on the mic, right? Jason, a veteran of our armed services. We just can't say enough about our men and women that put on the uniform and, give what they give to keep all of us safe. So love them. Love you, Jason. We appreciate that service, your time there for us. And I know that that's something that's special to you.
Thank you. And just to touch on that while we're here with this wrestling, wrestling for 6 years of my life and then stepping into the military, just the life lessons that wrestling taught me, it was amazing to go into the boot camp and hand-to-hand combat and learn just that mental toughness in the military. I took a lot of what I learned in wrestling, and I'm not just taking that lightly. I really did. Wrestling was a battle, and I went into a battle, and it just was just very grateful for this sport and what it's done and who it's brought in my life.
Well, again, we cannot say enough about our servicemen and women and that which they have continue to give and those that you have given. So, again, we appreciate it.
I'm looking at the lineup here. Just looking at the mat down there, Tuslaw has a full lineup with a couple extra guys here as well. This is going to be a really good dual meet tonight.
It's fun that you say that because, as we know, sometimes, when you're introducing the lineups, you'll put two guys at a weight class, right? Trying to play a little bit of mind games. There's not much you're sometimes with wrestling. It's not quite as strategic maybe as, calling plays from the box of the football game and so forth. But yet, coaches sometimes they like to make the other coach think what could happen. And so by you mentioning there's a few extra suited up athletes out there, it tells me that when we start doing our announcements, Coach Coleman's going to have to possibly make some decisions. Now, Brad, how does that work as far as, we get to the weight class? Jason shared a little bit in the JV or the junior high bout about the coin toss. So when it comes to putting a guy on the mat, there's some strategy. Who puts a guy first involved at that time? Is there not?
Yes, and good coaches will take advantage of that. So the officials have to be on their toes when you do a random draw. They have a kit. Officials come with a kit. The visiting team gets to draw out of the kit a weight class, and that's the weight class the duel can start at. And then from there, it will be odd and even. The scorer at the table down here will mark each weight, odd and even. And whoever is odd gets to choose who to send out. Whoever's even for that match can choose to send out. Some people can weigh in 3. I've seen it. I've seen people weigh in 3 wrestlers at one weight class. and they'll wait to see who the opposing team sends out before they send out their wrestler. So there's a lot of strategy that can be involved. Lots and lots of strategy.
Well, we're going to see some of that yet tonight here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that one of our co-hosts is going to have to shove off, leave us this evening. He's got family duties. I'll tell you what, these men, family first. That's what it's always about for us, family first. So one thing I will say about Jason, before we put the headphones on today, Jason looked at me and goes, "Hey, Jim, this is the first time I've ever put a headset on and spoken to a mic." And I'll tell you what, Jason, you did an outstanding job. Really proud of you, bro.
Thank you.
Great job.
Appreciate that.
You have fun?
I did. I mean, anytime you come into a basketball gymnasium and you see wrestling mats covering it, of course it's fun. But I'm definitely looking forward to what this is going to open up with wrestling and just being part of these tournaments. And like you mentioned earlier tonight, the youth level, I mean, it's huge. So just looking forward to that and continuing this journey. So you gentlemen have a wonderful evening.
Hey, Jason, awesome job tonight. What are you doing Saturday?
I'm officiating at the Jackson Memorial Middle School. I'll be officiating the match there. And then maybe if my pal Brad needs a little hand there at the tri-meet, I'm going to run over to the high school. But we'll be at a tournament Saturday. I'm excited to keep
Wrestling
growing.
season's kicking off. I'm excited to work with you. You're a great official.
Thank you.
This was also a lot of fun too.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's going to be the tough thing here. You guys are going to be so in and out because of your refereeing duties. I'm going to miss you guys, man. We got to keep this going. So
can we do a wireless mic? Maybe put the headset on while we're officiating.
I enjoy listening to Jim. I've told him this, and I 100% mean this. Jim is very good at this. I enjoy listening to him. He knows the sport inside and out, and I could sit and listen to Jim do 5 of these in a row.
You're too kind, brother, and I'm so proud to be here with you guys both. Jason, thank you for kicking us off tonight, man. I love you. You did a great job. And
thanks for the snacks too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. He brought snacks. This is awesome.
I didn't. My girlfriend, Brooke, she actually brought these snacks and blessed us with these. So
all right. Well, thank you, Brooke. Look at that. We each got a bag. Oh, this is like amazing.
I know.
Well, you tell Brooke we said thank you.
I will do that. All right,
thank
gentlemen.
You, Brooke.
God bless you.
God bless. Be safe.
Enjoy this, and I'll be for sure. I will get on the Stark Media YouTube channel, and I'll be tuning in with my kids tonight.
All right, brother.
All right.
Love you, buddy. See you Saturday.
Bye.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jason Andres, Stark Media host, kicking off our inaugural night tonight. Hey, Brad, look at this. I'm telling you, man. Let's see what we got in these bags here.
Sounds like Easter.
It is like Easter. Let's see.
Nutella.
Got a Gatorade. What'd you get? You got a Nutella? Wait a minute. Look at this. Brooke even gave us Perel.
This is the best gift bag I've ever got. Oh, we're getting distracted from the duel.
What duel? I'm going through my bag. I got pistachios.
Oh. Tylenol and chapstick. Wow.
Well, you can tell that young lady knows about wrestling. You got some Tylenol?
She's a keeper.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Brooke, we want to, on behalf of Stark Media broadcast team, we want to thank you for that lovely parting gift.
Amazing.
You got jerky links.
Yeah, to share though.
Oh my God.
Don't show this food to the wrestlers. You can't feed the wrestlers.
No, can't feed the wrestlers. That's why, Lindsay's Pizza, one of our great sponsors. I tell you what, that's what I hear. I got to be honest, brother. I haven't had it yet.
You will now.
Yeah.
And you won't be disappointed. Lindsay's Pizza is good stuff. They have a breakfast pizza that
really?
Will knock your socks off. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of pizza in general, but Lindsay's is even a notch above.
Well, as you knew me in the past, brother, months ago, I used to love pizza too.
You probably still do. You look amazing, Jim. I know the program. I need to check into it. The program you maintain is amazing. The transformation you made in the last 12 months, unbelievable.
That's very kind. Thank you, brother. I tell you. We definitely would like to share that with our fans down the road, those that might be struggling with their weight. I do coach a program that has been very successful for my wife and I. As you said, I've lost almost 90 pounds. My wife just around 60 pounds. So she looks amazing. So, but I appreciate that, my brother. And yeah, I'm going to share that
Great.
because if anybody needs some help out there, yeah, we definitely want to help you out. You know, we got the announcer going. What do you think, brother? About that time.
About that time. I did not catch what weight we're starting at. So I didn't see that. We could be starting at 106. But
Now, is it not true if the coaches choose not to pull, we would call it a pill, but they choose not to pull that, you then would start at 106, correct?
they can elect to start at 106. They're supposed to do the random draw.
Oh,
every time.
irregardless.
Yeah.
Really? Did
Yeah.
not know that. Okay.
So it's kind of one of those rules where people accept the aspect that like they want to start at 106. They can have a feature match. A lot of times they'll end on a feature match. They'll do it that way for spectators, for all these people here. So.
Well, folks, we've got our national anthem.
God bless America.
Outstanding.
Here we go.
All right. Well,
Got the
our captain's going out. Looks good. Now, what is going to happen there? Just again to help our listeners as we begin to teach what's happening there. What's our official going to be doing with our captains?
So we're going to flip the disc to see who has choice. That will determine who sends out who in the odd and even. They'll get to pick. Whoever wins gets to pick odd or even. And from there, whatever weight class represents an odd or an even. In this case, it's red, so Tuslaw gets to choose. They pick odd or even. For the first weight class, it goes by number 1, not essentially by the number of the weight. They get to determine who gets sent out first. The other team represents, then the other team that won can send their wrestler out. In this case, it looks like
that 106.
They took even.
Okay.
Tuslaw took even, so they're presenting their wrestler, their 106 first, and then Louisville just sent their 106.
All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our 6-pounders out on the match. Looks to be Caden Lawson for the Leopards. And for Tuslaw, we have Colton Rhodes.
Colton Rhodes, I believe, is the youngest Rhodes brother. Two-time state champion Davin Rhodes, youngest brother. And I believe the 150-pounder Dylan Rhodes, 132-pounder Dylan Rhodes is also on this team.
All right, boy, right there. Coming around nice.
Yeah.
Up around, got the 2. The official showing 2 and a reversal. It's so important. Remember how we used to talk, and we tell the kids, never stop wrestling, right? Keep it moving, keep yourself active, and you can see right there.
That was impressive.
Went to his back, yet kept fighting, got the reversal back on top. They're on their feet.
Louisville in control.
And the official says they're out of bounds. Official looking at right there. He's probably looking both feet out. Is that for the wrestler, if you will, 1 foot each, both guys?
Yes, both. And sometimes the action's taking it that way. If they're representing out of bounds, he'll reset them when in a neutral position.
Well, your wrestler starting in the referee's position there. Referee's position, of course, the up and down position, the bottom wrestler. Their job is to try to get out, get escape, get that 1 point or reversal. The man on top, he's working for control and working to the fall. He wants to expose that back, get that wrestler to their back, work for that pin, maintaining and gaining the maximum number of team points for his team.
The official at this point is looking at the top wrestler to see what action he's taking. He just applied a stalling call there to the top wrestler.
And stalling is a tough call. Then I mean, and a lot of coaches, when we were coaching, of course, sometimes that stalling, coach thinks, too quick, not soon enough. I mean, how do you, when you're out there, how are you doing? How do you determine that stalling, at least for you? I know everybody's a little different, but.
Yes. So my apologies. That was the bottom wrestler. Green is home. So he called the bottom wrestler for stalling. He didn't feel the bottom wrestler was initiating enough wrestling activity. He was basically lying on the bottom, not trying to base up, not trying to build up to any type of stand-up position to escape. So he calls the stalling, and look what happens. The wrestler starts wrestling, gets an escape.
Absolutely. You see that? I mean, that spurred him on, did it not? Got that 1 point.
Yeah, no timeouts in wrestling.
Oh, the beauty of the sport, brother, right? The beauty of the sport. So in the second period, choice is made. The Tuslaw wrestler, that's Caden Lawson. Caden takes the down position again as he went up 3-2 with that one escape. So again, he's going to try to work to that escape or reversal. And Colton Rhodes going to try to keep him down and work to the fall.
These Rhodes boys are such good kids, such hardworking kids.
Oh, yeah.
They're fun to watch on the mat. They're great wrestlers, great kids for the team. It's been fun to watch them over the years.
Now, I'll tell you what, Colton decides to give the escape. He's going to put Lawson back on his feet. Going to work for the takedown. Right now, they're in what we call that neutral position, right? They're both on their feet. They're working for that takedown. Both wrestlers, good circling, good motion. You can notice
a lot of hand fighting.
Great hand fighting. Lawson with a 2-on-1, but Rhodes right there on top of that head, hanging heavy. That ankle's there if you want. Oh, no. Lawson brings it back. Now, I see two officials on the mat. Is that common? I mean, you had talked about how, really we kind of struggle right now as we look to recruit some officials. I know we're going to be working very hard here at Stark Media to help that process. So is there a difference with a two-man versus a one-man team?
So two state officials,
yeah,
this caliber, it is unusual, but for this level of a duel, this level of competition, it's fitting. So I would imagine that the home team requested it. And the local association obliged and sent two of their best officials.
Awesome. Rhodes in on a shot. Nice job on the single leg, though. Lawson's got him stretched out. Rhodes on his belly, fights back up to his knees. He's going to want to try to create an angle. You can see Lawson's got the cradle. Looks like he's got it locked up on top, Brad.
That's tight. To his back.
There's the swipes. We see two. Two on the takedown. Looks like he has that still locked up, would you say?
Yeah, he's turning him again. He's fighting.
And Rhodes hanging on. Whistle sounds, but not before. 2 points, Lawson again. Now, earlier in the broadcast, Jason, remember, had shared with us, Lawson, even as a freshman, they're already looking at him. He's ranked in the state, is he not?
Yeah, he's and you can see here because Rhodes is a tough wrestler, and the score being 8-2 has put him on his back multiple times. Heavy riding, great hand fighting. You can see why he's state ranked.
But I'll tell you what, like you said before, the Rhodes, Colton himself, the family itself, fighting hard, coming up, back to their feet, right back to the mat. Look, Lawson's got the legs in near side.
What an exchange!
Well, again, they just don't stop wrestling. Things continuing.
We could see a stalemate or potentially dangerous here. Referees looking close. Got some action instead, which is always preferred.
Absolutely. Oh, those hips down a little bit. Rhodes trying to work his way into it. Lawson working his way back up. He looks like he has a 4 now.
Yeah, it's getting close to illegal.
And the official will have to watch that, correct?
Yeah, figure 4 in the body there. He's looking at it. Official keeps coming to the front and then around side. The assistant can call that as well. So that's getting really close to dangerous.
Now he's locked below.
There we go.
Potentially dangerous. Now I noticed there is that he's locked below the knee. So that's all right that he's below the knee,
Yes,
correct?
Yes, good call. Yes, getting really close. It's a move that you flirt with. Not really necessary, but his his foot slides up into that knee. It's 1 point, the opponent.
Understood. Okay. Now Micah Coleman there calling out some instructions to his young wrestler. Colton is down. Referee's position. Again, his job is to escape. Lawson doing a nice job on back and forth, keeping the pressure, throwing the legs in. But I'll tell you what, Rhodes not stopping. And now Lawson gives him the one. Rhodes came up. Lawson chooses to put him back on his feet. And right away into the underhook.
Mean wizard.
Absolutely.
That was a great wizard.
Out of bounds. 35 seconds remaining here in the third period. A great battle between these two young men.
Neutral, close to short time. Need a big move here from Louisville. Dangerous. That leg draped over across Rhodes' face.
Ladies and gentlemen, and it's great again having Brad here sharing that with you. If you notice the hand signals, again, Brad always talks a lot about the mechanics, and it's really to watch, when you're watching to understand what you're seeing. The hand up in the air, you see that the fist close, that's that stalling. The hand behind the neck, showing that potentially dangerous. So, as we go out throughout the season, we're going to point those things out, and we're going to educate you in a sport that we love. That'll do it.
Great match.
That will do it. What a match. A lot of applause here from the Tuslaw group. 2 freshmen, Brad. 2 freshmen out there.
Wow. 3-0 in the duel now for Tuslaw. So starting off with a win. That stalling call on their end there was due to the Tuslaw wrestler backing up. So he made enough motion backwards to be awarded a stalling call. Sometimes at the end of a match, you'll see that. I think that was the proper call.
That was great match. Way to start the night. 106. Very exciting. Again, 2 freshmen. Those 2 young men, I think, will be wrestling each other quite a bit, not only this season, but for the years to come. Well, at 113 pounds, it looks like the Leopards are going to receive a forfeit. And that was Connor Novosel receiving a forfeit for the Leopards. And that forfeit will put 16 points on the board for Louisville. So as we move into match number 3.
Forfeits are 6 points. The first match being 3 points was due to the score being 8-3. If there's a score differential of 8 points or more, that's a major decision. That's 4 team points. And if it's a tech fall, which would be a score differential of more than 15 points, is 5 points. And of course, a pin is also 6 points.
Well, we talked a little bit about that strategy. I think Coach Coleman, if I heard the name correctly, I think he jumped up Novosel at 113 to wrestle at 120. Did you hear the same?
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah. There's the strategy you were talking about.
So basically, Coach Coleman sending out one of his JV wrestlers to accept the forfeit, which gives him the opportunity. A wrestler can move up, 1 weight class, correct? They can move from one once they weigh in. Okay.
Yeah, they certify at a weight. Once they certify, they can move up 1 weight class for competition.
And Tuslaw is bringing to the mat also a freshman. These are 2 freshmen out there, Brad. This is Ethan Hare. So Ethan at 120 and Connor Novosel, the 113-pounder for Louisville, but jumping up to take on Hare.
It's always great to see freshmen come out and represent. It's exciting. They got a great career ahead of them. How many freshmen have you seen come out their
Oh.
freshman year and make waves over the years, Jim.
Oh, absolutely. Many, and they prepare themselves. And even those that maybe, weren't going to maybe produce the waves that you thought they were right off the bat, they stay there, they stick with it. And then what do you know, by their junior, senior year, I mean, that's a name that doesn't leave your lips. So, it's just great to see. And the beauty, of course, of our sport, just looking down there at the young men, you see the lightweights, right? Your 106 all the way up to our heavyweights at 285. So it's a sport that, can contribute and give to all bodies, sizes, shapes, and so forth, right?
Yes. A name that comes to mind is Ohio Buckeye, Maslin Perry great, Nick Heflin. Started in 8th grade, came out as a freshman, won a state championship 3 years later.
Wow.
So the sport can produce from freshman year on. We got a leg cradle, looks like.
And I'll tell you what, Hare taking a shot, and the official, it looks like he has awarded the 2. Novosel trying to keep him on his back.
Very unusual position. Very unusual. These are the type of positions, Jim, that are difficult to officiate. You have to make sure that they are set and in complete control before you award any points.
Now, we saw the swipe right there.
Gave 2 back.
And gave 2 back. All right, 2 back.
A 4-point exchange, 2 takedown and 2 back. Interesting.
Well, at the end of the first period, Novosel goes up 4-0 against Hare. Choice goes to Novosel, Leopards. He'll look over at Coach Coleman. Coach Coleman says, we're going to go down. They're going to the referee's position. Again, wrestler on bottom. Their job is to escape man on top. He's to hold him down, put in a little bit of grind there, and work for the fall.
Riding tough. So he's got that wrist, that cross wrist, rolling it under. That puts a lot of pressure on the bottom wrestler. So there, the referee called potentially dangerous because had an improper arm bar.
Okay. And that wrestler safety, I mean, that's job one, is it not for you guys?
Paramount. It's the main thing we look for. We'll sacrifice anything for safety. And the next aspect to what we stop a match for immediately is blood. So
okay.
If we see any sign of blood, immediate stoppage, unless it's in an absolute pinning situation, an imminent fall.
I'm sure as the season goes on, we're going to see that here, and you're going to help walk us right through it. Tell you what, Novosel
tonight.
That's true. It's early. Oh, a little chapstick, huh?
You got your own in your own snack pack.
I didn't get any chapstick. I got two whatever. We used to share chapstick. What the heck? Novosel on top again. He's working his legs. We'll let that story go to another broadcast.
I used to share my chapstick with Joey.
Yes.
Remember Joey's lips when he would wrestle.
Oh,
jeez. Nacho cheese, Jason. Oh boy, what great memories.
What stories, man. You're going to hear some great stories, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the year. Wrestlers go out of bounds. I'll tell you what, great flurry, both guys. Freshman again down there. Come back to the center, again, still in the referee's position.
Wrestling hard. Wrestling real hard.
30 seconds left in the period.
Almost. Still no release there. So he hung on, and now we got another cradle coming back the other way.
Same position he was in the first period. Oh, the 2, we've got the reversal.
Yeah.
He's on the reversal. I see the swipes.
What an interesting.
Boy, Hare's got to be careful. Got to keep that shoulder up.
So we got 2 for the takedown. Two leg cradles in one match.
And the leg cradle is not, one of those moves we show all the time, isn't it?
I don't think that Coach Kuhlman is working the leg cradle in the practice room. So I'm not sure where they catch that. That's instinct. No, I really do believe that they just feel it once they've been wrestling. They start feeling and seeing things. That's where the leg cradle, in my opinion, comes from.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what, Novosel with a nice, long, lanky body there. Good job with that. Boy, I'll tell you what, right to the legs. Third period, right away. He's got it in deep. He's going to cross that, right across that chin. Nice job. With the legs with a hard cross face. Comes back, another 3 points. And right away, going right back. I'll tell you what, years back when, coaching and we'd put the legs in, we'd tell the kids, you know what, you put those legs in, it's time to take care of the head and the body, or on top of that head and shoulders. And right now, the official looking for the fall.
Getting close. Got a mouthpiece on the mat. They'll let the action continue in an imminent fall situation that we have here.
Hare fighting hard. Novosel trying to put in both legs. He's still around the body tight. Tell you what, though, Hare, you got to give a lot of credit nonstop. He's fighting.
There's your fall.
And there it is. There it is. The slap of the mat and the whistle. We have it. Our first fall for tonight's match. And that goes to freshman Connor Novosel. 6 points for the Leopards.
So are we saying Novosel's weight is 113, but coach bumped him to 20 for that match?
That is correct. That's what I believe happened. So I'm sure if that's not true, we are going to hit it on the chat board.
Yeah. Well, he looks good at 20, Jim. He, if he's a 13-pounder with his size, he looks good at 20. So I can imagine he's going to make some waves this year at 13.
No, that's straight on. Well, looks to be now at 126 pounds. Louisville bringing out one of their state qualifiers from last year. Looks to be Colton Barker on the line. And at Tuslaw.
126 pounds. Tuslaw, Junior, Sam Knox.
And they had two that weighed in, and there's that little bit of that strategy Brad and I had talked about earlier. So they've elected to bring Sam Noss, a junior, out to the mat.
So Tuslaw is representing red. Louisville is representing green. Typically, the home team represents green, and the away team represents red. But I believe because of the Tuslaw reshot singlets, they're with the red accents, they're representing the red stripe.
No, you're spot on. I was a little confused. I was going to kind of ask you about that as we went on, because you're right. Usually, the green represents your home team.
Barker in on a deep outside single. He gave him two there.
Going nicely around that head. Comes back.
A little bit of an anticipation call there, but I think Jared was pretty confident. Control was established. He likes to see control of the hips. I have all the confidence in the world, and when Jared gives two, that it's 2 points, 2 takedown.
Yeah, as you said earlier, two state officials here. You don't see that very often, but again, at this caliber of a match, this, early in the season, it's great to see both these guys doing a great job. Well, it looks like Barker's got that cradle in, and I'll tell you what, that is tight. He's on that near knee. He's trying to bring it back, and he does. We're going to see the swipes. There they are. And work that position. He's trying to get that near shoulder down right now. Noss keeping that shoulder up high on the chest of Barker. Doesn't want to get it down. And 3 points.
3 points near fall. So he releases those once the wrestler comes out of the cradle and releases. Now he's back in the cradle and start counting again.
So the key was the release of those hands, correct?
Yes, resetting and establishing a neutral position, neutral dominant position.
And time runs out, but not before. Another 3 points for Barker. And I'll tell you what, opening up here, 8-0 on the scoreboard, 2 3 points. They're going to go back to a neutral position. They're on their feet. Again, in neutral position, working for that takedown. Barker in on the shot, near side, single leg comes up. Now, when those wrestlers go off their feet, it's paramount they bring them back under control and safely. Is that correct?
Yeah, the offensive wrestler is responsible for the safety of the defensive wrestler. So if he leaves, if he picks him up off the mat, it's his responsibility to return him safely. If he returns him in an unsafe manner, you can see a slam possibly, or you can see unnecessary roughness. Oftentimes it turns into unnecessary roughness, but yeah, you're 100% right.
Barker did a nice job returning Nouse to the mat with that takedown. 13-0 our score. We're getting very close to a tech fall. And tech fall, as Brad had shared a little bit earlier about score differential, what the officials would be waiting for is a 15-point spread. And this should do it right here, if not for the fall, and it does. He tightens it up, that far shoulder, which Noss was trying to keep up. This time just could not do it, and Barker picking up a 6-point pin for the Leopards.
Barker is impressive. He's going to have himself a year.
Well,
15-0, several cradles in that match, and the Tuslaw wrestler was a formidable opponent.
Now moving our way up to the 132-pound weight class. Boy, another name, as you said, older brother of Colton Rhodes. Here comes his brother, Dylan Rhodes.
Younger brother of Davin Rhodes.
Correct.
Again, multiple-time state champ who you and I had seen grow up over the years wrestling since he was in first grade.
Wow.
Now he's wrestling at West Virginia University, D1 college.
Outstanding.
Best of luck to Davin. He's a great kid.
Awesome.
130 pounds. Tuslaw, freshman, Luke Enzel. And for Louisville, returning state qualifier, senior Dylan Rhodes.
Brother state qualifier, Dylan.
I'll tell you what, looking at the lineup card, this Luke Hensel was not on our lineup card as we started, but it looks to be freshman Luke Hensel here right now at 132 pounds against Dylan. And Dylan very quickly, 30 seconds in, we have our first takedown. And Dylan, a master, just as his brother Davin was, a master on their feet. They love to take down in nicely again on that single leg.
Settles into that, so we're seeing takedown and kickouts. The official will release an escape point once the defensive wrestler is on his feet and facing him, if the top wrestler decides to kick him. Looks like he had 2 takedowns and going for a little.
He does, and Rhodes has got that near side cradle in right now, and he scoops that near knee. This is tight, Brad. This is going to be tough to get out of for the young freshman.
Yep.
And not to be just a little too much, but I'll tell you what, again, when you're talking about, junior state qualifier, that young man has nothing to be ashamed of. Great match, 6 points, pinfall for the Leopards.
Easy work for Rhodes. Didn't break a sweat there. He looked impressive. Louisville has some hammers. They have some hammers in that early lineup. So we started out with a win for Tuslaw. The 106-pounder looked great. And since then, it's been all Louisville.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, making our way up to 138 pounds.
Freshman Ray Butzer. And for Louisville, junior Tanner Frank.
Now, as you look at the lineup here at 138 pounds, even though he weighed in at 132, Ray Butzer is the wrestler for the Mustangs. And wrestling at 138 for the Leopards, it looks to be Tanner Frank. And Frank very quickly into that 2-point takedown. And again, a lot of cradles. I got a feeling, even though that, like we talked a little bit about the leg cradle, but you're seeing some nice near side cradles here, by the Leopards. Overall, Frank, again, first wrestlers go out of bounds. Back getting a fresh start. Hensel is down again. Referee's position, looking to get escape, and Frank on top. We'll see if he's going to go back to that cradle.
So do you think Micah, Coach Coleman, is big on the cradles? It seems like this is a theme with the team. I would have to think that he's brought that. I don't remember this many cradles from the Louisville team, the Louisville squad previously. It seems like we're seeing them in every match.
Yeah, I mean, Micah, a great wrestler in his own right, works with our international program heavily in the Greco area, right, which is more of your kind of on your feet wrestling. But no, Micah, good mat wrestler, always talks about the grind. I think you're right. I think that he has brought over that cradle series, great series overall. And here we go. And he's in it again.
Hip to hip.
This time got the far side. He's going to try to bring it back.
Officials in perfect position there. Jared Martin. So as soon as he gets into criteria, he'll start swiping near fall, and then he'll get down chest to chest to see if he can locate a fall.
Now again, far side cradle in. Frank has it awful tight, looking to try to bring it back. He's going to come straight back with it. There he does.
Try and put that bottom knee in the side there once his near fall is accomplished.
Absolutely. And the time runs right at the end of the period. How much we got? We have an ear fall. 3 points. 3 points. Nice job. Good finish to the period. Choice going over to the Mustangs. And Ray looking over at Coach Pertine. And he decides he's going to go neutral. They're going to start on their feet. So when they get that choice, Brad, what are the options that wrestler has in the second period?
So in the second period, he can choose to defer, which would give the choice back to the opposing wrestler. He can choose neutral, which is on their feet. He can go on the bottom, which would give him the opportunity to earn an escape point and get to his feet. Or he could choose top, where at top he would have to hold the defensive wrestler down and look for a scoring position. So those are his choices. More often than not, you see a deferment, giving the choice to the other wrestler, which then provides choice in the third period. While I was explaining that, we had another fall.
No, that's all right. I'll tell you what, great analysis there. And yeah, Tanner Frank, nice job. Put the arm bar in, ran it across nicely. Good fight though by Butzer Ray. As again, this young Tuslaw team coming in, both coaches pre-show. They said there was going to be a war, and it is. I mean, yeah, we're seeing the falls, but I'll tell you what, the Tuslaw guys staying strong, never quitting. As we move now into the 144-pound weight class.
I think that is Ray Butzer. I think it's Ray. I think on our sheet here it's backwards. I believe that's Ray Butzer, and that I'll do some research on that, but I believe it's Ray Butzer.
Now looking at 144 pounds now, Tuslaw bringing to the mat Luke Brown. And the way our card reads, this is Wyatt Skolash for the Leopards. And picks him up, goes out of bounds. No points, the officials say. Brown with a nice double leg takedown. And Skolash in on the leg, but no. Brown not stopping, keeping the motion going. He gets 2 for the takedown. On top, right into that claw motion there, claw spiral.
I think we're getting into the heart of the Tuslaw lineup. You can kind of see the enthusiasm rise once again in the Tuslaw fans.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. They're looking forward. We got Max Cooper just on the horizon for the Mustangs, and his partner, Jacob.
And then Davin Rhodes shortly thereafter. So you got 3 Tuslaw, longtime Tuslaw Hammers.
Skolash in the down position trying to work his way out, but riding well on top. Brown says not now.
Digging out.
Legs are in.
Looks to be a banana split position.
Trying to split it open, trying to bring him back, get those swipes, not to be. Skolash hanging tight underneath.
So we could see a stalling call here on bottom wrestler. There he's pushing back, building up base. So if he's showing wrestling activity, he won't be presented with a stalling penalty, which I believe would be his first. So he based up there. Great job.
Yeah, nice job. He's back up on his fight, looking to get one. Yes.
He can intelligently defend himself
and
there.
Right at the period. I'll tell you what, that is as a coach, that's the heartbreaker, isn't it? Right before the period, you've held him that long. and you give that point right there at the end.
Yeah. And then on the other side, it's a moment of pride.
Absolutely. Just depends what side of the mat you're
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
You're right. Yeah, choice
Never
has
stop
been made.
wrestling. That's what you just alluded to a minute ago, and there was a great example. there, too.
Absolutely. Great point. Never stop wrestling. Well, they're back in the referee's position. This time our Tuslaw wrestler, Brown, he's going to take the down. And Skolash on top. Whistle blows, comes up nice. Nice inside leg stand up and a nice shear. Cuts away real well. That right there is some very patented down position. Nice inside leg stand up. Nice shear away. 1 point escape. On their feet, neutral position, looking and working for that takedown.
We're at 38. Is that correct?
I believe we're at 144.
44. Okay, this is Wyatt. Wyatt Skolash is the Louisville wrestler. And Luke Brown is the Tuslaw wrestler. Okay, I'm caught back up, Jim.
Nah, you're right on. I know what you're doing. You're in that goodie bag. That's what the problem is. I mean, I'm sitting there looking. You got,
Man,
you
it's
know,
got chapstick.
no, forget the chapstick, man. You got tender cuts, man. You got Jack Link classic tender cuts.
Yeah, look at that. Can't wait to have those on the way home.
Absolutely. And the Gatorade. Both wrestlers on their feet, neutral position, looking for that takedown. 1 minute into the second period. Levels are changing nicely. Skolash underneath. Brown on top, trying to work that position. He's got a nice underhook near side. A little bit of a standing chancellor type position, if you will.
Yeah.
Try a little bit of muscle in here, trying to move him around the mat.
Should see a cow catcher. Tony Ramos style cow catcher.
Absolutely. Break apart, level change, shot.
Shot.
Skolash in, a little bit short. Nice defense. Oh, there he goes. He ran it right over. He's on to 2 takedown. He's got 10 seconds. He has enough time, and he does it right there.
All right.
And
Tuslaw's back.
Brown with the fall for the Mustangs. Things had been swinging in the pendulum, about to swing back.
They needed that one. That was a big win. That was a crucial win in the lineup. What a great duel so far.
Wow, absolutely. Absolutely.
This is outstanding. It's only going to get better from here. Coverage-wise. Well, no, this is a pretty exciting duel. But coverage-wise, we'll get better. I will.
No, you're doing awesome. You kidding me? This is fun. This is fun. Hey, I think we have 4 listeners or watchers, so it's not bad. We're entertaining those 4 people, and I think 3 of my family, so
At least
we're in
it's
good shape.
At least it's plural, not listener,
Yeah.
watcher.
All right, well, the Mustangs about to bring out one of their state qualifiers. Here he is. This is Max Cooper.
Cooper family's been around a really long time. Max's father is also an official, and Max is an official. Max is a Class 3 official. Yeah,
Okay.
He does a fantastic job. He officiates youth on the Sundays, and he's got a great career in officiating.
And for Louisville, senior returning state champ.
He's got quite the task here today. Dom Horvath. Horvath is a state champion.
Absolutely. 2-point takedown.
So Max drew this straw.
No, and that happens. You know, that's all right. I mean, it's early in the season, right? I mean, kind of gauge where you're at. Again, these are Division II, Division III. These guys will not meet when it comes time for section. You know, this can only make, both wrestlers better, right? I mean, 2 state qualifiers, a state champion. So
That's a great point. Not a lot of memories years from now. He'll be able to say that he wrestled a state champion. Not everybody can claim that they got to wrestle a state champion. So that is an accomplishment in and itself.
I'll tell you what, and Max himself able to say, you know what, I was one of the best 16 that made it to the shot. There's a ton of wrestlers, right?
Yeah.
That never get to make that claim. Case in point. Not you, me.
No, I agree. It's a very valid point. Dom's a special wrestler.
Absolutely.
Dom Horvath is probably one of the hardest working kids I've ever seen. He commits to the weight cut like hardly anybody in the state of Ohio. He maintains and he commits to the sport and his weight cut.
Now, I believe he has committed to Ohio University, from what I understand.
He'll be a Bobcat.
He will be a Bobcat next year. Absolutely.
Well deserved. They're getting a good one there.
I'll tell you what, they've done a nice job down there. I've watched some of the new recruits that are coming in. They're really trying to rebuild that program, and Dom is going to be a nice addition to that lineup.
Yeah, they just funneled in a bunch of top Ohio hammers. Peyton Keller's in that room, and they got a bunch of really, really good wrestlers down there at Ohio U, and they're getting another real good one with Dom.
Now 15 seconds remaining here in the first period. Horvath up 4-1, 2 takedowns and an escape. But again, Cooper not to be denied, always wrestling, trying to work that hand control underneath, and official on the swipes.
Cooper was awarded a stalling call there. The official didn't feel like he was trying to wrestle up or base up, or felt like he was just had his hips glued to the mat. Hit him with stalling.
Well, on choice, Cooper has done just what you had described a little bit earlier, right? He has deferred. He'll take choice in the third period. And quickly, Horvath knows what he wants. He's going down. He's going to work for that escape. Cooper on top as we begin the second period.
Nice. Got a reversal in play. There we go.
Good motion. Moves that first leg. Transfers over. Comes back. 2-point reversal. Like you said, great job.
I'm not a big fan of how he's pummeled his legs over. He's going to kick him.
Yep. Puts him back on his feet. 1-point escape for Cooper. Horvath maintaining that good defensive square stance as he prepares for his attack on his feet. And he staggers it up a little bit. On that single leg comes high, and right like that, 2 points. Horvath. 6-2, your match score.
Back to his feet again. Intelligently defend himself. There goes the one. The official award the one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, both wrestlers, they're doing a nice job staying towards, working their way a little bit to the side. But, you know, there are some wrestlers, there's a wrestling strategy to take that match to the side of the mat. And I gotta think as an official, that's probably not your most favorite.
To the edge, take it to the edge.
that edge wrestling.
So see here this position, how he laces his leg over that. He's got his opponent's figure four. He just released it. I'm not sure where that's coming from. That's not a favorable position for the for an official. It gets to be dangerous pretty quick. But you're right, Jim. The line, you have to be right there in position. If they wrestle to the line, it can become very challenging to officiate.
Boy, and Horvath with that deep half Nelson, and the official, and again, just as you had pointed out many times, well put tonight. Athlete's safety number one. He's kind of watching that shoulder, watching that neck. Just felt it was a little bit in the wrong position.
Goes to show you the mindset of a wrestler. He's willing to let that shoulder get bent all the way behind his head. The referee has to stop it. So that's a great example of the mindset of a wrestler.
Well, again, some of our shows down the road, I really anticipate we're going to have a nice show about just the mental preparation and what it takes, you know, for these young men and now many young women, as you pointed out earlier, to make their way to the mat, and the mental toughness, if you will, that we know that it takes. Well, the third period, and Cooper looks over his coach. He's going to take down, and just like that, Horvath says, go ahead, I'll give you the one. I'll put you on your feet. So he does. And 10-4 is our bout score.
You got to think Cooper's just looking for something offensive here. Anything. He would consider a big move, but I think a takedown would be a big victory at this point.
Agreed. Tell you what, though, Horvath, nice stance. Look how he's got a nice square stance, squared up well. Good defensive position as he tries to find that opening. It's got to be tough to work through that head. And, oh, boy, nice throw by.
Very nice.
Stays on the head. Heavy hands, what we always used to say, right? Light feet and heavy hands. And Horvath, I'm sure, has got a pair of heavy gloves that he's throwing out there. 2-point takedown for the Leopard.
I know it's the beginning of his senior year, but he looks college ready now.
I would agree with you. Nice job grinding on top, keeping those hips to the mat as he puts in. He's got the arm bar in on the near side. Where's he going to go with it? Official doing a great job watching that. That arm bar you really got to watch, don't you, Brad?
You want it straight across the back. I think you always used to refer to it as elbow deep, if I remember. So elbow deep, straight across the back. That's proper technique. That's good turning technique and avoid an injury. Once that comes out of that position, you pretty much stop it because injury could be right around the corner.
Absolutely.
Okay. Got a second stalling call on red, so that's awarded a point. First stalling is a warning. Second's a point.
Oh, nice roll.
Well, it's a Peterson.
He comes through. That should be 2 for.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
And
reversal.
Max, 2 points. Reversal. That's got to give him a little energy there. 13-6 our bout score. 20 seconds remaining in the match. But I'll tell you what, nice finish again. Goes to what you had said earlier, Brad. Oh, he got a little bit too high. Slid off the top.
Almost near fall. Official in great position. I mean, he's right there at the top of the wrestlers.
And Max quickly to his belly. Did a nice job. Didn't want to give up any more. 15-6 our score. How's that work as far as team scores, boss?
Yeah, that's a major decision. So that'll be 4 points, which is a victory, quite honestly, for Tuslaw. I mean, returning state champion in D2. I mean, he's beaten world beaters like St. Paris Graham. And, he won a super, super tough division. For him to not get a tech fall or a fall in general, that's a victory for Tuslaw.
Yeah, I got to tell you, watching Horvath walk across, even though he pretty well handled that match, he didn't look very, very happy with himself.
No, I think he wanted the 6 points, 16 points.
Well, moving our way on up, match is a great one here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, at 157 pounds.
157 pounds.
So the dual score at this point is Louisville 34, Tuslaw 9.
All right. Well, we have another state qualifier coming out for the Mustangs at 157. This is Jacob Lyons. Lyons taking on Wyatt Smith for the Leopards.
So we saw Jacob on Monday at the Stark County preview, and he had a real tough match. He dropped a tough match to the Lake wrestler. So he's probably chomping at the bit to get out here tonight.
Oh, you can see it there, huh, buddy? Look at that. Nice single leg. Turk got the leg turked real well. Boy, right to the back. Official, I saw a swipe. He's got to get 2, correct?
He does have to get 2 to award there. He gave him 2 back. So he probably started at 2. So when an official's getting into position, his first swipe could actually be 2 1,000. So that's why we probably saw there.
Okay, gotcha.
There we goes the butcher.
He's got those arms bundled up, trying to bring it across. 1-2 at Lion. Nice looking. He's got it tight. This is tight.
He wants this.
Got the chin nice.
I knew he wasn't happy with Monday. So he's coming out here on fire.
Did you guys have a little talk earlier this week?
No, I just know I've seen him wrestle since he was in youth too. And
I got you.
He dropped that match on Monday, and I could tell he left the mat thinking, man, I don't like this feeling.
I got you. 1 point. They're both on their feet. And right away, he's got that underhook near side. Looking to drop in on the leg.
I was officiating.
Oh, you officiate that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Had a front row seat.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of those through the season, brother. Can't wait to hear some of the stories.
Booked for some great tournaments. Wadsworth GIT this year.
Oh, going out to the Grizzly. Okay.
Yeah. We have such great tournaments in Northeastern Ohio. It's amazing.
Well, I know that, head and arm right there. This is tight. I'm not sure.
Right
He's not coming out.
I call that the Zach LaRue.
Yeah, buddy. He wasn't coming out of that. There it is, the fall. Nice and tight. 6 points for the Mustangs with the fall. That's Jacob Lyons.
Impressive.
Powerful.
Big win.
He felt that. You could see. He set that up nicely. All right, moving up to 165 pounds.
Devin's another Tuslaw wrestler that I've seen wrestle for years and years and years, ever since he was in first grade. So he's always exciting. Devin is a big move wrestler, loves the big move.
Now here we go again, as Brad said. Davin Van Est for the Mustangs, wrestling for the Leopards. We have Jude Yeager.
Jude Yeager looks game. He's right in there mixing it up.
Boy, in nice on that single, and Van Est with it quickly has the 2.
Wow, that was an interesting takedown.
Doing a nice job on top. Got the hip square. Looks good. Good pivot in. Looks like he's trying to set up possibly a little bit of a tight waist tilt. Arm comes free.
Yeah, it was a trapped arm return there. I'm sure the officials watching that closely.
Yeah, great point. I mean, how many times have we seen that where that arm gets trapped, and when they return to the mat, boy, the head hits first, and boy, you just cringe.
Yeah, it's a tough position. A lot of people believe that the trapped arm is illegal. It is not illegal. It does become potentially dangerous. You can wrestle with a trapped arm. It is the offensive wrestler's responsibility to maintain it. You can see unnecessary roughness come into play as far as a penalty, but a trapped arm is not illegal.
And that's good to know. I mean, I think a lot of times, just what you're saying, coaches, parents, right, fans in the stands, they really don't understand sometimes where that move or that position is. But again, it's great to hear yourself and other officials that do understand. And obviously, number one, safety first, but then also, you got to let those kids wrestle, right? You got to give them the opportunity to score. And in on that double leg takedown.
He's got a Merkel there. Yeah, he gave it to him.
He got the 2 points. He's locked up.
So there's a call that's interesting and it can be inconsistent. We got a shoulder injury here, so we got injury time. So the official circled his finger. That starts the injury time. So we have 1 minute and 30 seconds for this wrestler to return to the center. And this would be his first injury time.
Okay, now at the end of 1:30, if he cannot return, what happens?
Well, since the move was legal, he would forfeit the match, and the Tuslaw wrestler, Davin Van Est, would be the victor, would win the match. Looks like he might have got a stinger. Looks like he's back on his feet here. Minute 30 is not a lot of time.
No, absolutely not. You see Coach Coleman over there. Both.
Yeah, looks like he's
dad, father, and son. Looks like he's up, Brad.
Yeah.
Now, I see during that time, Coach Petrine giving a little bit of coaching counsel. That's okay. There's no problem with that as far as injury time or those kind of breaks, if you will.
Yes, during injury time, that is okay. You can get a drink of water. You cannot leave the circle. You're not supposed to leave the circle. Yes, coaching is allowed.
Referee's position, whistle blows. Boy, and I'll tell you what, Yeager coming out strong. He's up, and he gets one. He gets that escape. Your bout score, 4-1. They're back on their feet. Neutral. Van Est with a nice outside leg single. Kind of sweeps around, and that'll do it. End of the first period. 4-2, your bout score.
Dual score, 15 Tuslaw, 34 Louisville. They need this match.
Absolutely.
Tuslaw needs this match.
No, absolutely.
Shout out to Ryan McMasters, one of our viewers, watching his cousin wrestle. One of the beautiful things of broadcasting these matches. If you have a family member on the lineup, you can tune in and see him without being here. So,
outstanding.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan, for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Now, I'll tell you what, I think down the road, what I'd like to do, Brad, if you're open to it, maybe at the end of a match, we can possibly open up the phone lines for maybe 30 minutes. Anybody wants to call in, ask some questions about what we saw, for the night, that might be something we could add. Oh, Van Est with a nice reversal. 2 points. Yes, great scramble. Again, both wrestlers continuing. He's up on top, 6-2, your bout score. We're still at a 3-point decision as far as a team score goes as of right now. Van Est, of course, once more. He's got that arm bar tight. But again, I love it. Yeager not stopping, gets right back to his belly. Does give up 2, but doesn't give up 3 or even more.
The the bout is still in reach for Jaeger. We're midway through the second period. He's down 6 points. So he could hit a move, hit a reversal. He's right back in this.
And Vaness decides to let him go. They're back on their feet. I like the way Jaeger has those hands down low, protecting those legs. He wants to keep Vaness out, keep him out front. But with that, he's going to have to look to score himself. Is that not true, Brad?
Yeah, there he takes a shot. Sucking in a
Nice
single leg. There. Try to crack him back.
Vaness battling hard. He's got those hips square. Uh-oh.
Looks like he's turning the corner.
He's got to come back. Should come back working those hands a little bit. Cover that ankle.
Jaeger hoping for a stall or a stalemate here.
No, not to be.
Release the two.
Yep, not to be. 2 points, Vaness for the takedown. He's got that arm bar in again. Oh, he's a little high on that.
There. That was good whistle. Good whistle by Jared.
Well done. Well done by our officials.
Great awareness of Devin too. Right to his gets the takedown. Immediately puts in an arm bar and starts looking for near fall.
Well, it's like you said earlier. He knows that this overall match is still in reach, but his score is really could be the point to turn this. Here he is. He's on. He's got him on his back again, looking for 6, and he has it right there. He gets the fall, puts that arm bar in, takes it across. Jaeger, great fight, hung in there as long as he could. 6 points fall for the Mustangs.
Great job by Devin Van Est. Looking good.
Nice match. So how's our match score, Brad?
We're 21-34. So we are seeing Tuslaw clawing back.
And
so
we got
was 30-6 at one point. So now we're 21-34. 34 for Louisville, 21 team points for the Tuslaw Mustangs.
Now here's we're going to see a little bit here. We have a forfeit going to the Leopards. And that's at 175 pounds, hand being raised to Micah Bricker. Micah Bricker receiving the forfeit. So that'll be 6 points for the Leopards. Boy, you just hate to see those forfeits, don't you, Brad?
Yeah, especially when the duel is starting to come in reach again, and then you give up a quick 6 points just without rep. But you never know. There could be a skin issue with COVID still around. There could be an illness that they may have somebody in that lineup that just couldn't represent tonight. So, yeah, you definitely don't like to see that happen.
190 pounds, Louisville, freshman.
Back to back.
Well, and it's at 190 pounds. So, again, the Leopards getting 6 points for the forfeit at 190 pounds. And I think those two might put the match a bit out of reach for us right now for the Mustangs. 215 pound is our next weight class. Looks like we're going to have another forfeit here.
3 forfeits back to back.
And that forfeit going to Kyle Allen for the Mustangs.
Now we get to the big fellas.
Yeah, the big boys, right? Here we go. The big boys. Our last match of the evening, 285 pounds. 40-27 is our score. The Leopards will come away tonight with the victory, even with 6 points. Correction, they didn't have that last 6 up. So even with the 6 here, the Leopards have the match under control. But, hey, doesn't matter. These two young men making their way out there at a 285 for the Mustangs. We're looking at Garrett Sanders. And for the Leopards, we're looking at Ben Brendel.
I love the heavyweights. Down at the state tournament, it's one of my favorite weight classes is watching the heavyweights.
These big boys can move. I'll tell you what, look at this. Nice job, nice single leg by Brendel. And, boy, he's going to let him up. Look at that. He says, come on, bring it again.
Yeah, we got him again.
Yeah, nice job. 2-point takedown.
Louisville has had a good run of heavy wrestlers the last 5-6 years. They've had quite a few make it to the state tournament. So Blake Robbins, for example, and Paulus. You probably remember Paulus. He was a fantastic wrestler for Louisville. Both of those guys, Robbins and Paulus.
Absolutely. And yet the Stark County, the Federal League, a lot of great heavies still down there. And
Colton
with
Arnold.
that, Colton Arnold, right, from Maslin Jackson. Perry, right? Perry's got a
I believe Faulkner.
young man, yep, back.
And then Wadsworth too. But yeah, Colton Arnold's I think 7th, and the kid from Perry is either 1st or 2nd. So yeah, it's a great area.
That'll be a great matchup. Hopefully Stark Media will be there that night, and we'll be able to bring that match to you also. Well, that'll do it. Our final match there, Brendel with the fall, 6 points. And our final score tonight, the Louisville Leopards 52 and the Mustangs of Tuslaw 27. Well, overall, Brad, what do you think about tonight?
Great event. Love these formats. Wrestling, the format is exciting to watch. So fortunate for anybody that tunes in and can watch these, whether you have a family member or you just want to watch great wrestling in a great environment. It's so exciting that Stark Media teams can be bringing these events. And you can tune in anywhere. If you lived in California, because these are broadcast on YouTube. So, if your family members are wrestling here, make sure you share this page. That's ultimately what's going to be the most important aspect to the success of Stark Media team broadcasting wrestling. They already do football and they do basketball, and they're thinking of doing some other stuff too. What other sports are they thinking about?
Well, I know that TJ had talked about swimming. I'll tell you what, just tonight alone, Stark Media was out at the Division II football broadcasting out there. They also were at Walsh College broadcasting the men and women's both basketball. So quite the presence throughout the area tonight, right?
Yeah.
Three different shows going on.
The goal is to make this very similar to a local flow and, compete with other media groups out there. And we're so fortunate. I'm fortunate to be part of this and to be next to you and listen to you. I mean, it's quite a treat. I love it. I love it so much. And I think it's such a great thing that the people at home can tune in and watch these young kids pour their hearts out, and these families cheer them on. They get to watch this brought to you by Stark Media team. So awesome.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. And I'll tell you what, with the expertise of yourself and many others, what are you doing? Packing your bag up already, I see, huh? Well, I'll tell you what, TJ, we're going to have to talk about this. This is quite the treat bag. But again, a lot of great sponsors we want to thank. I can tell you, I had a text while the show was going on, Brad, by our director of operations, Tim Arnold. And Tim is out there looking for title sponsors, advertisers. If you are interested in advertising with us, as Brad said, we're going to get better, right? As time goes on, these broadcasts will get a little bit better. We won't have the sound down like we did, but we'll be up and going. But if you're interested in sponsoring any of our segments, possibly in the room or sponsoring Where Are They Now or one of the upcoming matches, and we'll tell you our last little bit where we might be. I'm pretty excited to share this, where we might be next weekend. But what you want to do is reach out to Tim Arnold. That would be tim.arnold0369@gmail.com. Again, if you're interested in a sponsorship or advertising on the Stark Media platform, let's get a hold of tim.arnold0369@gmail.com, or you can email Stark Media Team. That's all one word, starkmediateam@gmail.com. Well, as we wrap up tonight, Brad, next week, or as we look into the next week, there is talk that Stark Media might be at the Ironman.
Wow. Well, so Ironman obviously is an amazing event. If we have the opportunity to be at Ironman, tune in. Yeah, that'll be best wrestling in the world, quite honestly. If you've never been to Ironman, this is a great way for you to be introduced to Ironman, watch the highest level wrestling in the world. Some of the best wrestlers in history have come through Ironman. Logan Stieber, David Taylor. David Taylor won a gold medal this year. He's a 4-time Ironman champ, one of the only 4-time Ironman champs. That's the type of wrestling you get to see come in to the local community. And if it's on Stark Media, what a treat.
No, it would be an absolute treat. I know that TJ and his team is working very hard to make that happen. So we'll get that out. If that doesn't happen, I know that there are some other meets in the area. So stay tuned. Keep your eye on the Stark Media Facebook page. We'll let you know when we're going to be live again. Brad, I think you're going to be putting the stripes on this weekend, so we want to wish you good luck and have fun. And again, it is going to be an absolute pleasure. You're a good friend of mine. It's going to be an absolute pleasure to work with you in this venue. This is, to me, is a dream. You know, I've always kind of wanted to do something like this. And I'm glad the Lord opened this door, and you're standing beside me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. You're a natural, Jim. You really are. You've got the gift of doing this, and people enjoy listening to you. I'll probably get to listen to you Saturday.
Will you? You'll tune in?
Well, I think I'm going to be officiating the
Oh,
match
you're at Jackson?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. All
yeah,
right.
so
I can't
back
wait to
together
announce
again.
your name.
Together again.
Together again.
All right.
Now,
I had a great time. I really had a great time tonight. Thank
absolutely. Me too. Thank you. Thank you. Well, that'll do it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to wrap it up here from Tuslaw High School. We thank you for joining us. For Brad Scarbrough and Jason Adkins, thank you again for joining us tonight for Stark Media Wrestling. And as always, thank you and God bless.